Good afternoon, students. Today we will discuss one more concept. That one is called as conductors. So conductors are nothing but these are the substances. These are the substances. These are the substances which allows, which allows, which allow the passage of electricity, which allow the passage of electricity, which allows the passage of electricity through them, which allow the passage of electricity through them. So these are called as conductors. These are called as conductors. Then the second thing is the substances which does not, which do not allow, which do not allow the passage of electricity, which do not allow the passage of electricity, which does not allow the passage of electricity through them are called as insulators, are called as insulators. Okay, so that is the substance which allows the passage of electricity through them are called as conductors, and the substance which does not allow the passage of electricity through them are called as insulator. So these conductors can be classified into two categories. So conductor can be classified into two categories. The first one is metallic conductors, and second one is electrolytes. So metallic conductors are nothing but these are the metallic substances. These are the metallic substances. These are the metallic substances which allow the passage of electricity, which allow the passage of electricity, which allow the passage of electricity through them, which allow the passage of electricity through them without undergoing any chemical change, without undergoing any chemical change, okay. So it is due to movement of electrons present in metallic crystal, So example for the metallic conductors are the common metals like copper, silver, aluminum. So these are the example, etc. Okay, so the conductors which allows the passage of electricity through them, these which does not allow the passage of electricity, that substances are called an insulator. And the conductors are can be classified into two types: metallic conductors as well as electrolytes. So metallic conductors, again, these are the substances which allows the passage of electricity through them without undergoing any chemical change. In this case, the electricity is due to the movement of electron that is present in the metallic crystal. So example for this one is copper, silver, aluminum, etc. And second one is electrolytes. So electrolytes are nothing but these are the substances which allow the passage of electricity, through their molten state, through their molten state through their molten state or aqueous solution, or aqueous solution, or aqueous solution, and also undergo chemical change, also undergo chemical change, also undergo chemical change in this case. Okay, so here the chemical decomposition will takes place. So again the electricity is due to, it is due to, the electricity is due to, it is due to the movement of ions, the movement of ions, the movement of ions, the movement of ions in their aqueous solutions, in their aqueous solutions, in their aqueous solutions, in their aqueous solutions. Okay, so example for this one is acids, bases, acids, bases, salts, etc. Okay, so the difference between metallic conductor and electrolytes are, so in case of metallic conductors there is no decomposition, okay, as well as the electricity is due to the movement of electron that is present in the metallic crystals. Okay, but in case of electrolytes, these will conduct electricity in an aqueous solution or in a molten state. In this case it will electrolyte will undergo, that is chemical change. In this case it is due to the movement of ions that is present in the aqueous solutions. So example for this one is acids, bases, salts, etc. So again that electrolytes are classified into two types: strong electrolytes, weak electrolytes. It is based on their extent of ionization, based on their extent of ionization, based on their extent of ionization, extent of ionization. The electrolytes are classified into two types. The first one is strong electrolytes. Strong electrolytes are nothing but these are almost complete, these are almost completely ionized, these are almost completely ionized, these are almost completely ionized in their aqueous solutions, in their aqueous solution, in their aqueous solutions. So example for this one, mineral acids like mineral acids like HCl, H2SO4, etc. Or bases like NaOH, KOH, etc. Salts like KCl, NH4Cl, etc. Okay, weak electrolytes, so they ionize, means these weak electrodes they ionize to the smaller extent, So example for the weak electrolytes are ammonium hydroxide, acetic acid, etc. So in case of a weak electrolyte, the degree of ionization, increases with the dilution and approaches unity, and approaches unity, and approaches unity. Okay, means based on the extent of ionization, the electrolytes can be classified into two types: strong electrolytes, weak electrolytes. Strong electrolytes, these are the almost completely ionized in their aqueous solutions. Examples of are like mineral acids like HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, bases like sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, salts like sodium chloride, potassium chloride, ammonium chloride. And weak electrolytes, they ionize to a smaller extent, means they will not undergo complete dissociation or complete ionization. Okay, there is existence of equilibrium in this case. In this case, there is only a forward reaction takes place. In case of strong electrolytes, only forward reaction, means if you take a NaCl, that will be ionized as Na plus and Cl minus. But if you go for weak electrolyte, so that there will be the existence of a equilibrium between, that is ions as well as unionized ion in this case. So therefore they will ionize to a smaller extent, means the degree of ionization increases with the increase in the dilution and approaches to unity. And non-electrolytes, next one is the non-electrolytes. Non-electrolytes. So non-electrolytes are nothing but these are the substances, these are the substances, these are the substances, these are the substances, these are the substances which do not conduct electricity, which do not conduct electricity, which do not conduct electricity, which do not conduct electricity in their molten state or aqueous solution, or aqueous solution, or aqueous solution. So example for this one is, example for non-electrolytes are nothing but alcohol, that is ethyl alcohol, okay, then sugar, okay, then glucose. So these are the example for non-electrolytes. Means in case of a non-electrolytes, these will not conduct electricity in their aqueous solution as well as in, or in case of molten state. So example for this one is, means in case of a non-electrolyte, they will not undergo complete ionization in this case. Okay, so this is about your which one, conductors, metallic conductors, electrolytes, and different types of electrodes. So next I will go for that resistance now. Already I have studied I think in case of physics in this. So what is resistance? So means already you know that every material or every substance, every material offers, every material offers some difficult to the flow of electricity, to the flow of electricity. Means every material or every substance are, so which offers some difficulties to the flow of, some difficulties to the flow of electricity, to the flow of electricity, to the flow of electricity. So this is called as a resistance. The name itself indicates that there should be some resistance, means that every material that will offers some difficulties to the flow of electricity. And so it can be described as, it can be described by considering Ohm's law, by considering Ohm's law. So that is nothing but V is directly proportional to I. So where V is nothing but potential difference, where V is nothing but potential difference, and I is nothing but current in this case. I is current in this case, means that is nothing but a potential difference across a conductor is directly proportional to the current flowing through the respective material. Okay, the Ohm's law statement is the potential difference across the conductor is directly proportional to the current flowing through the respective material. So therefore V is proportional to I, or this can be written as V by I is equal to R in this case. Okay, so means R is equal to V by I. So the unit for this one is unit for resistance is, that is ohm in this case. It is a ohm in this case. Next one is resistivity. So in this case, a resistivity is nothing but a resistance is directly proportional to resistance is directly proportional to resistance is directly proportional to is directly proportional to is directly proportional to is directly proportional to, that is length and area, that is R is proportional to length as well as area of cross section. So therefore R is equal to, this one is P and this one is L, and this one is called as rho in this case. It is called as a rho in this case, and that one is nothing but a resistance or resistivity or specific resistance. This rho is nothing but specific resistance or resistivity Okay, so therefore this can be rewritten as rho is equal to R A divided by L. If A is equal to 1 square centimeter and L is equal to 1 centimeter, then rho is equal to R in this case. That is resistivity as the resistance offered by the conductor of 1 centimeter length with 1 square centimeter as with 1 centimeter square as area of cross section. Okay, so therefore rho is equal to, the unit for this one so rho is equal to R A divided by L. So already you know the unit of R, that is nothing but ohm. Okay, then A is nothing but cm square, then length is in terms of centimeter. Therefore the unit for this one is ohm centimeter, or this can be written as like this, ohm cm, or sometimes if it is in terms of a meter, that one is in the ohm per meter also, ohm meter also. So this is about your resistivity. So resistivity is nothing but resistance. It is directly proportional to length as well as area. So this can be written R is equal to rho into, so that proportionality constant can be removed by one more term, that one is called as a rho. So this rho is nothing but specific resistance or resistivity. So therefore rho is nothing but R into A divided by L. If you consider A is equal to 1 square centimeter and length is equal to 1 centimeter, then resistivity is defined as, it is a resistance offered by the conductor of 1 centimeter length with a area of cross section as 1 square centimeter. So the unit of resistivity is nothing but So ohm centimeter or ohm meter in this case. So next part is conductance now. Conductance. Okay. So conductance is nothing the power of an electrolyte. 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 So to conduct electricity. The power of an electrolyte to conduct electricity. To conduct electricity, especially it is applicable for in a molten state or in aqueous solution. So it is a reciprocal of resistance. It is the reciprocal of resistance. Is a reciprocal of resistance. So that is, this can be denoted by Z divided is equal to 1 divided by R, or if you write a unit for this one is Z is equal to 1 divided by ohm in this case, or this can be nothing but per ohm, or this can be written as nothing but it is Simon. It is a one more unit for which one? Conductance. So conductance, it is nothing but it is the power of an electrolyte that will conduct electricity in aqueous solution or in a molten state. So it is a reciprocal, means G is equal to 1. This is denoted by the term G in this case. So G is equal to 1 by R. So already you know the unit of that resistance is nothing but a ohm. So therefore it becomes a per ohm, or this can be written as Simon as a unit for a conductance. So next one is conductivity. Conductivity. So this is denoted by kappa, or it is also nothing but specific conductance. Specific conductance. Specific conductance. Conductivity or specific conductance. The same thing you already have studied, resistivity or specific resistance. The same thing, it is a conductivity as well as or specific conductance. So again it is a reciprocal of resistivity. It is a reciprocal of resistivity. It is a reciprocal of resistivity. That is kappa is equal to 1 divided by rho in this case, or this can be written as 1 divided by R L divided by E in this case, because rho is equal to R into A divided by L. Fine. So if you put this one, that is rho is equal to this much. So therefore this is already, you know, this resistance, it is measured in ohm, length is measured in centimeter, area is measured in square centimeter. So therefore this is nothing but per ohm per centimeter. Fine. Or this is nothing but per ohm is nothing but Simon. So Simon per centimeter, or this can be written as Simon per meter also. Fine. So conductance or nothing but power of electron that will conduct electricity. It is reciprocal of a resistance. The unit for this one is per ohm or a Simon. And next one is conductivity. It is quite similar to resistivity. That one is nothing but it is the reciprocal of resistivity. So that is nothing but it is denoted by kappa, that is a capital K. This 1 divided by R. So if you put the which one resistivity value, it becomes 1 divided by R L into A. So the unit of R is ohm, length is centimeter, and area is square centimeter. So therefore per ohm per centimeter, or Simon per centimeter, or it can be written as Simon per meter in this case.